Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is Montana This Morning from Montana's news leader.
Well, good morning and thanks for waking up with us today. I'm Justine Stewart.
And I'm Lewis Stewart. Hopefully having a great start to your Tuesday so far.
Yeah, pretty cool out there this morning.
Yes, it is.
I actually put on like a vest out there. It was chilly.
Yeah, I walked out this morning.
Yeah.
I walked right back in and grabbed a jacket actually because it's pretty chilly out there. I've actually seen some 30s in some places, Justine. So definitely grab the jacket before you head out this morning, and temperatures are going to remain pretty cool as we roll into the afternoon time. So here's a look at your hour-by-hour forecast for a couple cities. Missoula is 57 by 8 a.m. Then we'll see 60s by 10 o'clock. We'll be in the 70s by 12 and 2, and then 80 degrees by around 4 p.m. this afternoon. Maybe a little bit of haze at some times, but like I mentioned, I think today at least is going to be one more day of pretty nice weather out there. Kalispell, 56 by 8 a.m., 64 by 10 o'clock. We'll be in the 70s by 12, 2, and 4 p.m. And then quick look at Hamilton, 53 by 8 a.m., 62 by 10 o'clock. And again, we'll be in the 70s by 12 and 2, upper 70s to lower 80s as we get later on into the afternoon.
Well, crews scrambled to clear the railroad tracks after a coal train derailed west of Knoxon. MTN's Eric Clements was at the scene and has more.
Approximately 30 train cars hauling coal spilled off the tracks in a train derailment just west of Knoxon Sunday night. It happened at around 11 p.m. and as you can see, cleanup efforts are still underway. Tractors bang and clatter, kicking up clouds of black dust as crews scramble to salvage as much coal as possible. The grinding screech of metal on metal fills the air as damaged cars are scraped from the track. Jim Lewis, a spokesperson for Montana Rail Link, says no one was hurt in the derailment and that no cars were hauling hazardous material, though it's unknown just how much coal may have spilled into the Clark Fork River. Onlookers had a clear view of the wreckage pulling off Highway 200 and snapping photos of the scene. And folks recreating on the water didn't seem too perturbed by the situation. Clearly, the train derailment doesn't affect boating. In Knoxon, Eric Clements, MTN News.
MRL is investigating the cause of that derailment. Firefighters expressing some relief for Sunday's rain and the cooler weather, which did move in over the Lolo Peak fire, but the fire's incident commander says it's not a time to become numb to the threat of the risk from that 10,000-acre wildfire. The 1-2 punch of strong outflow winds from thunderstorms Saturday night and then the arrival of a dry cold front Sunday had fire crews pretty worried. Those winds alone caused the Lolo Peak fire to claim more than 2 miles of timber Saturday night. That's why authorities decided to order an evacuation of homes along Lolo Creek. At the latest meeting in Lolo last night, the fire incidents commander explained the cold front stalled over Idaho, and the first rain in 46 days helped bring up that humidity and slow the fire spread. More of that weather is expected in the area, although evacuation orders will remain as a precaution.
For the next 2 or 3 days into the week, we're looking at humidities being up from what they were last week, 4 to 5%. That's a good thing. It'll be a little moister. Temperatures being down a few degrees, so it'll be a little cooler. We are going to be back into a westerly flow for wind.
Over the next 2 days, crews will be working to create a plug using roads, fire trail, and burnouts to slow that fire spread. Cooler temperatures and more humid air near Eureka proved to be an asset for firefighters there, taking on the 1,900-acre Gibraltar Ridge fire. Over the past 24 hours, fire crews were able to double that containment from 6 to 12%.
Right now, the wind is cooperating, so we haven't had that many spot fires over the last 2 days. That's that break that Mother Nature gave us to allow firefighters to get in there and really start buttoning this area up.
Residents were briefed on the latest at a meeting last night at Lincoln County High School. Not only is that fire being pushed back, but residents that were forced to evacuate their homes last week can now go back home. Western Montana Incident Management Team, PIO, Haley Graff, says that this is a big win, but both crews and residents still need to be on the lookout.
This is a pretty big win for everyone involved in the fire. It means a lot to the residents to be able to get back into their homes, check on them, make sure everything's okay, water their gardens, feed their cats, do things like that. But the fire is still posing some threat, so we've left the whole area under pre-evacuation still, so that if anything does go wrong or we get a wind event that would force people to evacuate again, they still need to be prepared for that.
Favorable weather conditions helping firefighters on the Rice Ridge fire, reporting details that they're using strategic firing operations in the coming days to secure the uncontrolled fire edge. Except for in the Swamp Creek drainage, there wasn't much fire growth. The pre-evacuation notice for residents along Highway 83 in the Seeley Lake area does remain in effect this morning. The American Red Cross has a shelter on standby at the Potomac Community Center just in case it's needed. Residents are still being encouraged to sign up for Smart 911 to ensure they receive any emergency messages about potential evacuations. You can find reports on all the fires burning in western Montana on our website. We will continue to track all the details and critical information you need with our Fire Watch coverage on air and online with our Facebook and Twitter feeds and the KPAX mobile app. Western Montana Fair organizers calling this year's event an overwhelming success that far surpassed its attendance and financial goals. But as MTN's Don Fisher shows us, organizers know there is room for improvement, particularly with the property's infrastructure.
The 138th Western Montana Fair saw record attendance thanks to free admission, including an estimated 25% sales boost for the carnival and gains to arena event attendance and local vendor profits. Fair Director Emily Bentley says the risk to implement free admission paid off in a big way.
We're still running the numbers, but it looks like attendance was up at least 20%, and we were hoping for 15. It's probably a lot higher than that. We can say with confidence that we made up the $100,000 in gate charge. We are on track to actually even surpass that.
The only major hiccup came on Friday evening when the 4-H cafe at the fairgrounds caught fire. Bentley says this was likely the cause of an aging infrastructure that is priority one as fairground renovation continues this off-season.
Certainly we have to build the infrastructure, sewer, water, and electrical that is to code, and there is a more urgency to do that now. It could have been much worse, and it was contained and the people stayed calm, but we can't let that happen again.
But despite the setback, Bentley says she's very encouraged by this year's turnout and is hopeful that continual improvements will draw even more of a crowd in the coming years.
We felt this energy building up to the fair that was palpable from the rest of the community, and we couldn't have done it without them. People came by, people braved the smoke, you know, they came out, they supported us, they supported the local nonprofits. I just really want to thank the community for their support. We couldn't have done it without them.
In Missoula, Don Fisher, MTN News.
Crews continue to tear down, which will continue through the week, while the grounds crew will work for about a month working to repair wear and tear on the property. All right, time to send on over to Lewis now this morning. He's got your weather on the 8th.
All right, thank you, Justine. Good morning, everyone. And take a look outside here at our St. Joseph Medical Center, ICAM, and Polson. Actually, a little bit of a sunrise this morning. Just beginning to get light, but it's not just that dreary, gray, smoky scene that we've been seeing for at least the past week or so. Actually, you can see the sun beginning to push up here with some orange colors, so it's a nice start to the day. It's nice to see there in Polson. How about this beautiful picture sent in to us by Cindy? This was sent from Victor, Montana last night. So Cindy, thank you so much for this great picture. Again, we've said it before, but it's nice to see those clear skies in the background. It is chilly this morning, 48 in Missoula, 44 in Polson, 37 in Seeley, 37 in Phillipsburg, 39 in Kalispell. We're at 46 in Hamilton, 42 this morning in St. Regis. So one of the reasons why we're so chilly, something we call radiational cooling. Now, actually the smoke kind of acted like a blanket, much like clouds do, to keep us pretty mild the past several days. This morning, though, we're getting fairly good air quality. We're not seeing as much smoke, so high pressure overhead during the daytime, which is what we have. Anything, all the sun, it warms up the surface of the earth. Then at nighttime, it begins to cool with high pressure that keeps the clouds out. All that heat escapes very quickly. It's an efficient way to cool the atmosphere. So radiational cooling is something that's happening this morning. Now, let's take a look at our actual air quality. Pretty good around western Montana, except again, Seeley Lake at that hazardous level. So they've just continued to get the short end of the stick is what it seems like. And I mentioned this before, but we'll go ahead and talk about one of the reasons this is happening, and that's just because the Rice Ridge fire is one of the main contributors to this. So let's go ahead, remember cooler temperatures like what we're seeing this morning during the evening time. Early in the morning, those cooler temperatures sink right down to the surface of the earth. The Rice Ridge Fire approximately in this location compared to Seeley Lake. So at nighttime, all that smoke with the cool air just funnels right down into the valley, and you get this very smoky conditions during the morning time. So one of the reasons why Seeley Lake is again hazardous this morning, which most other areas at that good to moderate air quality. All right, let's talk about Hamilton for the next 7 days. 82 on Tuesday, 83 on Wednesday, 85 on Thursday. Get those temperatures mostly in the middle and upper 80s as we roll into the end of the week and into the weekend.
It's not the 90s like we said yesterday, so that's always positive news.
I know, at least the 80s. Wish we could get a little more rain, but we'll take those cooler temperatures.
All right, well, thanks, Lewis, and stick around. We're right back after this, but first, here's some birthday shout-outs for you this morning.